Good morning, happy Wednesday. Today in math we are working on Module 6, Lesson 3. Make sure that you have out everything you need. You're going to need paper and pencil. You're going to have to do some of this on paper and upload it. We are working with the coordinate plane. When you come into office hours, the magic word that you are going to type is hamburger. You're going to type hamburger when you come into class. I look forward to seeing you. Make sure you have Google Classroom pulled up, this YouTube video pulled up, paper, pencil, and you are ready to go. Work through at the times that I say. When I tell you to pause the video, work on that section. I will see you in office hours to check your work and for any questions, but it should be complete. Alrighty, have fun. Good morning, happy Wednesday. We are looking at Module 6, Lesson 3, star coordinates. So today our objective is to be able to name points using coordinate pairs and using the coordinate pairs to plot points. So building on what we did yesterday, building on what we did the day before. We are going to start with our fluency. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Don't spend more than 5 minutes on these first 2 pages. They are split up so that you can edit it on the computer and type in your answers on the right side. Or if you're doing it on paper, you're doing it in a notebook, you can just write the answers in. Set a timer, pause the video, draw a sun at the top when you finish, and go ahead and get started. Now, go. All right, that 5 minutes has stopped. You've drawn what I've asked you to draw. You have worked through your fluency. You are going to show us that in office hours. We are now looking at the application problem. The captain of a ship has a chart to help him navigate through the islands. He must follow points that show the deepest part of the channel. List the coordinates the captain needs to follow in the order he encounters them. Okay, well that makes sense that he needs it deep because it's a big boat, so he needs lots of water. I see that there's an arrow here, so that's showing me the direction of the point. So that means I'm probably going to start here and move through. Okay, so now that I know that direction, that means I'm going to start with this first point. So when I look at that, remember, I think x-axis first. You go x over, then you go up y. If you have trouble remembering that order, the way that I think about it, if I forget, is you crawl before you walk. When you're a baby, first you learn to crawl, you go across, then you learn to walk and you stand up. Okay, so we have x first, so we go across, and we see that that's it. 5, so for number 1, I'm going to put 5, I'm going to write it here so that it's neat, 5, okay? And then I look at my y, so I go across and see where is it at, and it is at 1. Let's say 1, very small. No, 1 would be, see, okay, so let me show you what I just did there. Let me erase, oops, I'm erasing the other part, but if I erase right here, that's what was blocking it. 1 is this line here, right below it. So it's actually 1 line above. Well, 2 is here, okay, so that must be 1.5. Okay, again, I'm going to erase this so I don't confuse us. Now let's look at 2. So when I look at 2, that's this point right here. And I'm saying, okay, it falls right here. My x-axis, that's 3.5. And if you need to write this here to remember x, then y, write that. Now I'm looking for my y. How high up is it? It is directly at 3. Go ahead and finish plotting these points. So you should be finishing with 3, 4, 5, and 6. When you are done, you are going to check those coordinate pairs in office hours. So pause the video now and finish this. We are now looking at the concept development. It gives us steps that we are going to follow, and we're going to use this coordinate grid right here to answer the questions below. Okay. Use your ruler to draw an x-axis so it goes through points A and B and label it x-axis. Well, x-axis goes across, it goes through A and B and label it x-axis. Great. Now, B. Use your ruler, draw the y-axis, goes through points C and D. Okay. Oop, that almost did. There we go. And label it y, oops, y-axis. Great. Now, label 0 at the origin. The origin is where x and y intersect. It's where everything starts. So right here, that's my origin. It says put a 0. On the x-axis, so that is what goes across, that's my horizontal blue line there, we are going to label the whole numbers only. The length of one square is 1/4. So that means right here, that's 1/4. 1 square is 1/4. It's really hard with this pen to write small. Okay, but it wants us to only label the whole numbers. But if I know that's 1/4, I know this is 2/4, 3/4, this is 4/4, that's my whole number. Okay, so I know for my x-axis, it's going to be counting by fourths. And knowing that information, I can now just label my whole numbers. These hash marks, this is called a hash mark. So that would be 1 1/4, 1 2/4, 1 3/4, 1 4/4, which is 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me write that in a different color because that blends in and you can't actually see. Okay, great. And I'm going to erase this 1/4. Oops, that 1/4 was there to tell me so that I could figure out, but it wants us just labeling the whole numbers. Perfect. Okay, let's look at the next step. Label the x-axis same way. Okay, so 5/4 and only labeling the whole number. That makes sense because it has to be the same intervals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now we're using the coordinate pairs to name and plot the points. So what is the x-coordinate of E? Well, let's find E. E is right here. The x-coordinate, so that means my blue, my horizontal going across, it is right here, right? E goes down here, and that is where I labeled 2. So I'm going to put, oops, I went the wrong way. I'm going to put 2. What is the y-coordinate of E? Well, when I go across, where does it hit? It hits 1. Wow, why do I keep hitting the wrong button? Okay, 1. So the coordinate pair, again, we write the coordinate pair by saying x, then y. So my coordinate pair is 2, 1, and we use a comma to separate it. On your own, let's give those some check marks, you are going to finish this. So repeat for points G, B, and C. So you're going to put your x-coordinate here, your y-coordinate here, and then your x, y, or your coordinate pair is what is going to go there. Finish this. Upload your photo of your work, so pause the video now and get problem 2 finished. Great, so you have finished problem 2. You are now in the problem set. So when you're looking at the problem set, you are going to use this coordinate plane and you're going to follow the guidelines just like we did in the concept development. So construct an x-axis that passes through A and B. So here will be my x-axis. And you are going to keep following through all of these steps. When you finish, it's going to give you more directions on the next page that you're still going to use this coordinate plane for. So it says, identify all of the points that have the x-coordinate of this, and you're going to write that list there. You're going to use this coordinate plane to help. Once you finish that problem, you're moving on. All of these are still about that first coordinate plane. You're going to keep using that first coordinate plane. And same with these last questions, and then you are on your exit ticket. Remember that a hash mark is what I was showing you before. It goes like this. Those are the hash marks. Once you finish, come into office hours with questions. If while you're working through it, you have a question, on the side of your paper, if you have a question, write like this, write your question out, but keep trying and keep working through. It should not be empty when you come into office hours. Good luck. I will see you in office hours.